Welcome to Music Time with Mr. Kell, kiddos. Good to see you, or good to be seen by you. It's Fine Arts Friday, and you get to do some art project, and you get to sing with me. Yeah, this is a voluntary thing, but I expect that you guys are singing because these are songs that you know. We're actually going to start with an old familiar one today. Oh, Mrs. Moore, Allison Moore is filming.
Hello.
Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
She's filming. We're in the Mr. Kell office, which is vast and expansive. Now, you know what, Allison? There's practically an echo in here. It's so cool.
There is an echo in here.
And in my old office, even if it's completely empty, no echo. Like, you could have nothing in there, and if you said, hey, all you got was, hey. You know what I mean? Now, man, it's bouncing around. It's pretty cool. But the cool thing is, now it's big, and it's like, I got all these guitars, and ukuleles, and resonators, and banjos. Anyway, we're going to start with an old favorite. It's called The Bible Tells Me So, or Snap Your Fingers. And you snap your fingers right to left. It looks like left to right to you because, we're reversed. Snap your fingers on the beat. And this is a song that sort of features syncopation. Do you know what syncopation is, Allison?
I do not. Tell me.
Well, the thing about syncopation is there's the beat in music is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, or 1.
Right.
Two. Like it's either 4 beats or 3 beats generally to the measure. Well, syncopation makes you jump ahead on the beat, like you're anticipating the beat. So if you went unsyncopated, you'd go, snap your fingers, snap your fingers. Syncopated is, snap your fingers, snap your fingers.
Got it.
Snap your fingers. And tons of songs are syncopated. But, it's important to realize what's happening here.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't, so it's a song that features syncopation in the snapping part, or as they say in Germany, schnapping. I'm pretty sure they say schnapping.
I'll take your word for it.
Everybody snap your, what is fingers in German? I don't know. Digits. It's probably not. What's up with digits? Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I know
just a bit.
That's shocking, but I'm reeling it back in. Here we go. So go. Now we're gonna sing and snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers. How high are the mountains? How deep is the sea? How fast can an antelope run? How tall is the tallest tree? How wide is the ocean? How long is an elephant's nose? When a rhinoceros wants to get away from it all, is there a place where he can go? I don't know what makes the world go round. Don't know how a bird stays off the ground. Don't know how a duck can make that sound. I just know the Bible tells me so. Snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers. How blue is the sky in the summer? How white is the winter snow? How wet is an April shower? When it rains, where does the water go? Where does it go? How cold are the walls of an igloo? How hot is the desert sand? Psst. Why do mountains grow and rivers flow? Where are the 5 fingers on my hand? I don't know what makes the world go round. Don't know how a bird stays off the ground. Don't know how a duck can make that sound. I just know. What do you know? The Bible tells me so. 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 Read your Bible. Man, oh man, that was a pretty good way to get going. I think now would be a good time to slow things down a little bit. We're going to sing about the big black bear. But Allison, it's not the big black bear. It's the big black bear.
And why is that?
I'm glad you asked that. That was a great, very perceptive. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because if you come across a big black bear, you would certainly be afraid. And it would
True.
turn into a big, a black, a bear. You know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah. So, you know, when I was writing this, I was thinking, if we're going to have a bear song, it needs to have the appropriate amount of fear, because you don't just walk up to a bear. Hey, kids, you don't just walk up to a bear. You don't even walk up to a bear in a zoo, because, you know, they reach through the cage there. I've had my hair messed up a couple of times by a bear with an attitude. I have a great polar bear story, but I'll tell you that when we sing the polar bear song. Anyway, this goes. While walking through the woods one day, out with my mom and dad, to my surprise around the bend, said something really bad. Said something really bad. It's not that bears are evil things. Oh no. They call the woods their home. You have to go, home, home. I love that part. They call the woods their home. But to this day, I've never been so scared and all alone. It's a big black bear where? Standing right over there. So please don't stare at the big black bear. There's a big black bear where? Standing right over there. You can claim you don't care, but it's a big black bear. Maybe he just won't notice me. I won't have to climb up a tree. So I'll just stand here quietly all day if it has to be. Can you imagine clinging to a tree all day long with the bear down below you going, he's gotta come down sometime. There's a big black bear where? Standing right over there. So please don't stare at the big black bear. Yeah, it's a warning song. It's a be careful song. It really could be shortened right down to be careful. Grizzly bears are humongous. They're gigantic. Black bears sometimes are kind of small. And they're the ones that actually can climb a tree. Grizzly bears can't climb a tree, but they can
shake the tree.
Yeah. You ever notice, if you ever watch any of the Animal Channel things, like they'll find traces of grizzly bears by the tree bark being rubbed off where they scratch their backs.
I know.
How hard would you and I have to scratch our backs against a tree to get rid of the bark?
I don't think it's possible. We'd lose our skin before the tree would lose its bark.
Absolutely. But they like lean into the trees probably just, hey, you know, because trees are alive. They, you know, they're just not, they don't have feelings.
Right.
You ever think about that?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Plants are alive, but alive is a different thing than animals and humans.
Right.
You know, because we're alive with feelings. Like even your dog has feelings. There's no question. You can tell.
And feel pain.
And they feel pain and everything. Trees, I hope trees don't feel pain.
I do too. Or even flowers as you walk by and accidentally knock one down.
Yeah, I always feel like, you know, these people that are, they have a daisy, you know, he loves me.
Oh, right.
And the daisy's like, look, it's an even number. He doesn't love you. You know, like, I'm thinking, like, just count before you start pulling off isn't it possible to just go, he loves me, loves me. No, you have to pull off and then also you clip them off and they're like, I don't know, man. But the cool thing about flowers is you're not killing the plant.
True.
It's like trimming trees. Like right now in Lakewood, they're trimming all the Ficus benjamina trees there on Woodruff, and it's to keep them healthier. It's kind of like people getting a haircut. You ever notice, like, when you get a haircut, Allison, your hair kind of looks healthier and like it's almost like thankful, like, oh, thank you, you know, like.
Yeah, they say it grows better if you do cut it.
Yeah. Even if you have long hair, but you have to trim it. You know, you can't just. I saw a guy. Oh, Mrs. Moore. We got one more song to do. I saw a guy at the car wash yesterday. I drove the Mr. Kell mobile through the car wash, and the guy that was standing at the entrance of the car wash kind of points at the sign, like put it in neutral. Right. Yeah, that guy. He had a beard that was so long, it had two rubber band things in the middle of it to keep it from just being
blowing away.
Yeah. It was as though his chin had a ponytail.
Wow.
His chin.
You don't see that very often.
No. But that part's not worth mentioning. here's the part that's worth mentioning. I drive up, and he's going to put the tape on the back of the Mr. Kell mobile because it's got an antenna. I mean,
Windshield
a
wiper.
windshield wiper. That's got a windshield wiper. And I guess these car washes break them off.
Right.
So you got to tape them on there. So he stops at my window and goes, Mr. Kell, how's it going?
Of course he did.
Knew who he was. Well, no, I don't know anyone at this car wash.
But everybody knows you.
I don't know. It was pretty weird. I just went, hey, you know? And like he goes, roll down the window. So I roll down the window. He's like, how have you been? What's going on? How's everything? I'm like, just fine. But this guy's like in his 30s. He can be an ex-student of mine. So I'm thinking maybe he's the older brother of
could be
someone who's a student.
So you never solved the mystery.
I never did because I didn't want to go, who the heck are you?
Right.
Who the heck are you would be a great song.
Only you can write it.
Who the heck are you? Anyway, we're going to close with Contractions. And this is not about your mom having a baby or anything like that. This is a song about contractions like ain't and not like ain't. Like, by the way, ain't is finally in the dictionary.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not
probably best not to use it still. But.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. You know, how you doing? Ain't doing so. No, you know, unless you're in Mississippi, even then probably not.
Right.
But contractions like it's or don't or haven't or couldn't, and all they are is they make the English language easier. Like if there weren't for contractions, you'd be saying, why were you late today, Mr. Kell? I could not get here on time, you know.
Right.
No one says that.
We'd sound, yes, more formal.
Exactly. And formal's not always good because we're all friends here at the old schoolhouse. And even in proper English professors use contractions.
Yes. They're acceptable.
So I had a second grade teacher here at the old schoolhouse ask me to write a contraction song. And I thought, how would I write a contraction song? That's difficult. And I came up with this, you know, it's like, so, you know, this is what I came up with. Contractions, contractions, it's a language full of contractions. Put an apostrophe where a letter used to be, and everything's easier to say.
True.
Contractions. That was great. I paused, you said true. That was like, it was as though we planned that, but we didn't. Contractions, contractions, it's a language full of contractions. Put an apostrophe where a letter used to be, and everything's easier to say. Don't make me laugh. Contractions, contractions, it's easy to speak about contractions. You can't say won't. You shouldn't say don't. If you haven't, then you couldn't. You wouldn't or you won't. Put an apostrophe where a letter used to be, and everything's easier to say. That verse had a heck of a lot of contractions.
It did. Tongue
twister
twister
almost.
almost.
With contractions. We'll see, and I'll be. It's easy to say, it'll come to me. Who'd have ever known it, unless we've been shown it? There's contractions, everything we say. Practically, contractions, contractions. It's a language full of contractions. It'll take all day, but I'll show you the way. We'll laugh about the long, hard things we used to say. Put an apostrophe where a letter used to be, and everything's easier, everything's easier, everything's easier, everything's, oh man, everything's easier to say. I was stuck there. All right, kiddos, have a fabulous weekend. Really fun talking to you, singing to you. Thank you, Mrs. Moore.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was
and
fun.
We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.